WWE may have just given us one of the best Raws of the year. This is the perfect way to produce a 2-hour Monday Night Raw. Everything had meaning. Every segment had story. The matches had purpose, furthered story, and we're good in the ring. Let's talk about it all. All right, so Monday Night Raw kicked off with CM Punk, the best in the world, fresh off of a War Games victory alongside Roman Reigns and the OG Bloodline. Punk comes out, points at an imaginary WrestleMania sign, and says that is where his head is at. That is where he has his eyes on. And that just plays further into the idea of, is the favor that CM Punk is going to ask of Paul Heyman to get him into the WrestleMania main event. Because he's done it for Roman Reigns countless year after year after year. Not just a main eventer, the main event. We've heard Roman Reigns say those exact lines. CM Punk, the one thing he never had in his entire wrestling career, a WrestleMania main event. Could he be tasking Paul Heyman with getting him in that spot? Now, obviously, CM Punk coming out, of course, did not sit well with the architect, Seth freaking Rollins. Seth Rollins comes out and says, no. I should have punched you in the face and knocked your ass out a year ago when you returned. It's the one thing I regret. His words, not mine. And he said to Punk, let's go. And CM Punk let him know, no, you're not worth fighting to me. You're not champion. You don't have what I need. And to me, this storyline is going to go one of two ways. Because these two will be fighting at WrestleMania at this point. It's just a matter of how and why. Is one of the two going in to WrestleMania 41 the World Heavyweight Champion? And the other one is chasing that belt. You know, I've seen some people say CM Punk wins the title at Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber, and Seth Rollins is your Royal Rumble winner, or inverse. Fine, so be it. Or do we run back the Shawn Michaels Undertaker WrestleMania 26 storyline, where Seth Rollins becomes so obsessed with fighting CM Punk that he does everything he can to get in his business? We kind of saw it start tonight when Punk just got sucker punched by Rollins and started a brawl. Does Seth Rollins eliminate CM Punk from the Royal Rumble? Does Seth Rollins sneak in to the Elimination Chamber and cost Punk his ticket to WrestleMania, leaving Punk no option but to fight Seth Rollins? I don't know. But one of those two, that's where I'm at. So, as I mentioned, the two begin to brawl, and then that leads Sami Zayn and Jey Uso to come in and try and break it up. Jey Uso and Adam Pearce get CM Punk to the back. We see Sami and Rollins then have a really good back and forth. I mean, Rollins, back-to-back banger promos to open up Monday Night Raw, and this was great. Sami and Seth both kind of de facto blame each other for Roman Reigns being all-powerful. They get in each other's face, and it didn't have that I hate you animosity to it. It was just very much so friends fighting. That vibe very much so came across. They agree to have a match in the main event. Love to see that. Overall, this was really, really good. Bleacher Report gave it an A. I have no problem with this grade. I think it's an A as well. We move forward probably into the weakest spot of the night. I would say Damage Control versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Obviously, Liv Morgan and Io Sky will be fighting at Survivor Series main event. I expect that match to slap, but, you know, we had some tag team action here. I think Liv and Raquel going for the tag titles after Rhea inevitably takes the title back off of Liv is a pretty good spot on way to go. The match was fine. Raquel Rodriguez showed off as the muscle in this match, getting the victory for her team. The back and forth was cool. Just kind of a little lull as we build to Saturday night's main event where Io will take on Liv. Like I said, Raquel, the muscle, is the reason they get the win. She pins Kairi Sane in this spot. I need more for Kairi. I would love it if she won that Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament. I know nobody's talking about it. Kairi Sane stan right here. But, then the heels proceed to beat down the faces. Rhea Ripley comes out, goes to make the save, gets attacked, gets her, face pushed into the side of the desk. And I'm thinking, good way to write her off TV for next week, but she'll probably be back at Saturday night's main event. Yeah, C minus. I think C might be a little too high. Okay. Dakota Kai versus Katana Chance versus Shayna Baszler. We kick off the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament. And it is, of course, another series of triple threats. Tomorrow, I will put out a video dedicated to who I think should win this tournament, the same way that I did the IC title tournament. But we saw a pretty solid match here. Dakota Kai getting over with the audience. Dakota Kai very much so over with the IWC. She is one of those people that they are all very much so gravitating towards and picking. I'm not as hype as the whole IWC on Dakota Kai, but I do like her. Shayna as well, I would have been cool with winning in this spot. Dakota Kai ultimately did pick up the win. We had the closing spot of the match was Katana hitting like a 450 splash on Shayna, then getting picked up for, I believe it's a detonation kick from Dakota Kai, some version of that move. They call them different things, but I thought that, this was a fun match. I thought they did well with the time given. I didn't think anything looked particularly bad. It reminds me of the triple threat matches to open up the WWE Women's United States Championship, and Dakota Kai progressing forward, I have no problems with this. I would give it a C+. I thought it was good. I thought it was okay. The 10 years of the New Day. This was peak television. This was peak storytelling. This was peak WWE action. This is what makes you sink your teeth into the product, and this is what makes you so invested. The 10 years of the New Day. The celebration. We didn't know where this was going to go going into it because Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston have been beefing on Raw. There's no disputing that. There has been some back and forths of these two, and you thought one of them was going to turn heel. I pitched the idea last week that we do this New Day celebration evolution style where I didn't know what Big E's clearance level was, so we just cut to the back after Kofi's out there and see Xavier had beat down Big E, and that led to a feud with Kofi and Xavier Woods. That was where I thought we were headed. I'm so much happier with the direction we're going. So we have the New Day come out, just Kofi and Xavier Woods. They reminisce a little bit about the New Day in the last decade, and Xavier Woods and how him and Big E were going to be fired if the New Day didn't work out, and all the jam, the Kofi Mania, the Xavier King of the Ring. The video package was great. WWE never misses on those. Then we get to Kofi saying him and Woods have been talking, and they have some news that it's not the fans' fault, but they're not going to like. And before he could address this news, Big E returns. Not, in ring gear or anything, but he is back in this WWE ring. He comes out and he says, no, this New Day can't break up. They have to stay together. Power of positivity. He will be back each and every week to be their manager to make sure they get back to the top. And Xavier Woods rips him a new one. Xavier Woods says, where have you been? You wait until we're at our last threads to do this. We've been waiting for you. You could easily be back from this injury by now. You didn't even have to have surgery. I ripped the Achilles tendon straight off the bone, had to have surgery, and I'm back. Like, really ripping into him. And you were like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. And then Kofi does the same. Kofi joins Xavier Woods in blaming Big E for the New Day's recent struggles. Not even just recent, but over the last year or two. They said that they've been wasting their time waiting around for a guy in Big E who's never going to return. And your heart broke. Your heart broke for Big E. Because anybody that knows, Big E, one of the most genuine guys out there. You could just tell the vibe, even if you haven't met him. Not everybody that you see on TV or in the WWE is a great person out of the ring, obviously. But you could tell with Big E. Great guy. And to see his two brothers rip into him, It's enough to make a grown man tear up a little bit. It was brutal. And Big E leaves the ring. Kofi and Xavier, little handshake. And the New Day is heel. They're going to be using the power of negativity. And I loved it. I thought it was great. And I thought it was better than my idea of where Xavier attacks Big E, Kofi and him feud, because there's more of a payoff to this. The Raw Tag Division, it really couldn't afford to lose people, in my opinion. You know, they want to go with these 2 tag team divisions. I'm skeptical, but as both shows progress to move to 3 hours, I have some faith that there's going to be more time to put shine on these tag divisions. And you can't really afford to lose teams, but you have to make the teams interesting. And this makes the New Day interesting. I don't know when or if Big E's coming back. The way that this promo was formatted made me believe the plan is for him to come back and pay off this feud one day. But until then, I am very cool with what we're going to get from this version of the New Day. They're interesting. They got me hooked. Bleacher Report gave it an A. I give it an A+. I thought this was absolutely excellent. Gunther versus Dominic Mysterio. This stemmed from a backstage segment where Finn Balor said to Gunther, "You owe me a World Heavyweight Championship match because I have prevented you from losing that title to Damian Priest twice now." Gunther said, "I didn't want your help. I didn't need your help. And in fact, I'm actually pissed at you for getting involved in my shit because I wanted to go out there and win that shit by myself. And you stopped that." But Dominic Mysterio's got a win over Damian Priest, so I think I'll fight him. And we get that match here, actually pretty good. And they almost, you know, they had me buying into the false finish a little bit. And I know you're going to say, Dylan, you're not buying into like the false finish of Dominic Mysterio pinning Gunther. Gunther with this losing confidence storyline, you know, Dom with the 619, the frog splash, the low blow. Like, you could have wrote it off too as if Dom had cheated. They got me for a second, I'm not going to lie. Gunther ultimately does win the match, but Finn Balor attacks, and this leads us to a segment in which Adam Pearce will let Finn Balor know he will be fighting Gunther at Saturday night's main event for the World Heavyweight title. Love this. Love Balor in the world title picture. Priest obviously going to cost him this match, and we're going to head towards a triple threat for the Royal Rumble, I think, and I am here for it. R-Truth, Pete Dunne. I think I lied earlier. I said that the women's tag match was the worst part of the show. This was unnecessary. You know, R-Truth wins again, which is just ridiculous. No need for that to happen. They should be pushing Pete Dunne better than they are. Enough said. Then we move. Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins, the main event. The two put on an absolute banger of a match here. Absolutely no surprise to that. You know, two of the best in the ring, without a doubt in my mind. We saw Jey Uso was attacked before this match backstage, whodunit type deal. Sami Zayn believes it is Seth Rollins, so they go out there. They're definitely fighting with some ferocity. A lot of thrown into the outside turnbuckle post from both of these two. I thought that was an interesting note, something to certainly take a look at as to just the, what's the word, like ferocity? I don't know. The anger that they were using towards each other in this match felt pretty wild for two friends, but, you know, is what it is. And then we had, of course, the ending of the match in which Sami Zayn was willing to get a chair and hit Seth Rollins with it because he believed he was the one who attacked Jey Uso, and he wasn't, which, well, he doesn't seem to have been. Seth says, "No, that wasn't me. I wouldn't do that. You know that." Sammy believes him, tosses the chair out the ring. You know, Seth gets him with a little roll up. We see Seth walk up the ramp, leave. Sammy's still in the ring, dejected. Boom. Claymore. The return of Drew McIntyre, the Scottish psychopath, has unfinished business with Sami Zayn and takes him down. Excellent. Why did Drew do it? I don't know. We'll find out from Drew next week. But it's always great to have Drew McIntyre back on our television, of course. Was he the one who attacked Jey Uso? I don't know. He put out a social media video saying that if you don't hear it from Drew on his socials or in the ring, assume it isn't true. Assume it's false. And maybe he's talking about people assuming he also was the one who attacked Jey Uso. I don't know. But Drew McIntyre is back, and it looks like his target is Sami Zayn. I'm here for it. This was a great Raw, top to bottom. The storytelling, immaculate. The in-ring work, I mean, it wasn't exactly, the best show I've ever seen in my life, but Bleacher Report gives it an A. I also give it an A. I thought it was really well done. I think this is the peak that you can get to with a 2-hour show where everything feels so meaningful, and I hope that they can get there with 3-hour Raws and 3-hour SmackDowns consistently, but this was great stuff. And when we get to the 3-hour shows, more emphasis on the tag division, probably more emphasis on the mid card will be there. But this was some really, really solid stuff. I'm excited to see where we go with Punk and Rollins, what direction there. The New Day going forward. Liv and Io is going to be good. Balor and Gunther is going to be good. Saturday night's main event is shaping up to be one hell of a card. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What did you think of Monday Night Raw, the December 2nd edition? What did you think of our direction for Saturday night's main event and going forward? If you love the WWE and you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit that button. I'll catch you next time. Peace.